Welcome to the On Your Side podcast. I'm Susan Campbell. Gary Harper has the day off, so I have a guest host in with me. Kelly, one of our amazing rock star producers, has agreed to sit in with me for the On Your Side podcast. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. I think this is going to be a great topic.
It is.
And especially timely.
It is so fun to have you here. Today we are talking about some back to school time. Kids getting ready to go to college, maybe the first time ever away from home. Your kids are just a little bit older than mine, and that's why I thought you might be kind of the perfect person to slide into this chair and give us a little perspective of what it's like to have teenagers. Are they clean?
They are not clean, and they are not prepared to go out on their own to be clean, more importantly.
So we are talking today. Let's bring in our guest, Brian Santoni. You guys at your organization did a survey, and you found most kids and most parents don't feel like they're prepared to be clean. Tell me what you found.
So the American Cleaning Institute did a survey of college parents, parents whose kids are headed to school. Nearly 3 in 4 of those parents admit that their kids are not completely prepared to clean on their own. And students feel the same way. A survey that the American Cleaning Institute did last year found that 72% of students felt less than completely prepared. So that's why the American Cleaning Institute's Class of Clean provides some easy, online, accessible information to clean and launder the right way. So hopefully that'll be one less thing to worry about once they get to campus.
As you're talking about this, I'm kind of having flashbacks to when I went to college. There was a boy on my floor freshman year, and I don't think he ever once washed his sheets. The laundry just started getting like
an odor down the hall.
Crunchier and crunchier. And I say that now knowing that he's a very successful, happy husband. He's married to one of my best friends now who also was on that floor. So she saw the grossness of freshman year and she helped turn him around.
Yeah. She knew the grossness and still stayed.
Your son just went to camp, and you kind of had to have that laundry crash course talk with him.
He went to do a pre-college class, so he's going to be a senior this year, and he's away for a couple weeks on a college campus in a dorm, and they sent the whole list of everything that you needed for while you were away, and it was like, he has to do laundry, and it's a suite, so they have to be able to wash dishes and clean, do all of the things that he was completely ill-prepared to do.
Did you bring him down to the laundry room before he left and say, this is what a washing machine looks
and this
like?
is what a dryer is, and don't put red things with white things. And we had a crash course on coloreds and white clothes and what temperature you do things on, and some Tide Pods, and we were hopefully good to go. We'll see how things come back next week, but
Hopefully all the right colors, hopefully all the right sizes still. So that's kind of a little bit of what you are talking about with parents. That's some of the good advice you can give. Can we start? Let's go room by room. First of all, with the laundry, what are the tips and tricks that parents need to teach their kids to get through the laundry? First of all, is there an actual number of times we need to be washing our sheets every month?
Well, ideally, you're doing it once a week at least, or certainly, hopefully, every 2 weeks. So that's why it's good when you're moving in that you at least have a couple of different sets of sheets, so you can at least change it up every week or so. College kids are very active; they're all over the place. If their sports are engaged in different activities. It's very hot in a lot of different places, as we know. So it's important, especially when we spend so many hours asleep. So it's try to change those sheets up at least every week, 2 weeks at the latest.
I think you might have some viewer. I do that. I absolutely wash the sheets once a week, but I think we might have some viewers who are a little bit surprised.
Every 2 weeks kind of scenario.
They push it off a little bit.
Yeah.
How about for the kiddos who need to actually, maybe they do live in a suite or an apartment where they're responsible for all of the rooms in that apartment. We've got to do the dishes. We've got to do cleaning with different cleaning supplies. Maybe we've never, taught them how to use before. for
The bathroom.
the bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. What do they need to know about that?
Yeah, it's you want to be a good roommate. And our American Cleaning Institute's Class of Clean actually has a good roommate checklist. So ideally, you want to split up the chores with the bathroom in particular. Certainly, you want to make sure those surfaces are cleaned, especially if there's a couple of people in the suite. Disinfect, because it only takes a second to use some of those disinfecting wipes, clean up those visible messes, and pick up and organize your items. And then certainly at least once a week, you want to be cleaning that toilet. And sometimes that's not top of mind for every college student, but you really should be cleaning that toilet. Again, take turns. There are the simple ways to do that. Also, make sure you're cleaning the sink and the countertop. And don't forget the shower and the bath. That can get kind of gross as well.
It sure can.
Equip yourself. There's this it's a daily shower cleaners. You just spray that after you're done bathing or showering, and it helps prevent mold and mildew. So some simple tips that we have for, again, being a good roommate and cleaning the bathroom, the kitchen, the rest of the living spaces. So let's not get into any unnecessary arguments. Everyone can do their part. It only takes a few moments to clean as we go along throughout the week.
I love the idea of making sure that there are expectations outlined for the roommates so it doesn't fall on one person. I had a college roommate who is still one of my very dear friends, but I think we had a standoff over a cereal bowl that had some yucky milk left in it for weeks. And we finally determined it was the guy down the hall, the one with the gross sheets. He left it in our room. So we each thought it was each other's.
Each other, hence the standoff. So what ended up happening to the dish?
The boy down the hall finally fessed up, and he took it out, and he washed it. So we didn't have to handle it.
Very good.
I know.
So I wouldn't want to touch that after a couple of weeks.
So we've talked through, Brian, we've talked through a lot of the things of how we have these conversations, how we just kind of prepare. And maybe it's a conversation we didn't realize we have to have. We have to have so many big conversations with our kids. And this is the one that kind of gets pushed to the back burner because we're just so busy. But why does all of this actually matter? There's actually a connection between our living space and how we're going to be productive at school.
Ideally, you want to use this as a launch pad to start a lifetime of good habits. And ideally, hopefully there's been conversations at home and maybe some of the kids have already known how to clean and laundry, but reality, that's not the case in every household. So you want to start these good habits. And cleaning and hygiene, I think, is important, certainly from a health perspective. Because again, you're with a lot of other students. There can be maybe hundreds of kids in a particular big class. So you're interacting with a lot of people. Cold and flu season will be around the corner not too long. So just the basics, your basic hygiene, making sure you're washing your hands with soap and water, carrying around some hand sanitizer in your backpack. So some of the basics are still really important when you go to campus. Also, when you're busy, you got a lot of homework to do, a lot of classwork. Ideally, you want to keep your desk organized. And, there's something about it when you wake up and your area is clean or your room is clean. I think there's something innate in all of us where that organization, there's a kick in your step. So there are, different benefits just from basic hygiene, basic cleaning, keeping us healthy, and hopefully starting the day with a clean mind.
Just makes us maybe a little bit more productive. I know I always feel more productive if my house feels in order.
Like everything's in order and there's no dishes in the sink.
Yeah. And the days that it's not in order, you just feel a little bit overwhelmed. Like, oh my goodness, I have a long checklist of things to get done.
It's harder to get organized when there are things that are out of place like that. So is there something, Brian, for somebody like me who still has, a few months left with at least my older son at home, is there something that I should be teaching him or a timeline we should be going through? Like what skills should I make sure he has when he heads out next fall?
I would say probably the start off with laundry, because at some point there's no clothes left if you haven't done laundry for a while, and you need to take those clothes to the laundry facilities in your dorm or laundromat based on where you live. So just, I would say, the basics, and the American Cleaning Institute's Class of Clean has a laundry 101 guide, sorting by color, because sometimes you have some new clothes that you're taking to campus and you want to make sure they last. So throwing everything together all at once, you don't want any of those clothes to fade or that dye, especially to get loose in the laundry. So, ideally you want to do your darks together and, do your whites together, just some of those basics, because I remember when I was a freshman and I wondered, why my blue jeans turned a different color. So anyway, we want to try to avoid those particular instances. So just the basics of laundry, first and foremost, is really important, because you're typically doing that every week.
I learned a really hard lesson when I was in college, actually. This whole conversation is just making me go back. Oh, my goodness. It's a lot of years, but it feels so fun to remember all these funny stories. We had a dishwasher in my apartment my senior year, and we ran out of dish detergent. And one of my roommates decided, I'm just going to throw in some Dawn. And let me tell you, we had just an incredible amount of soap.
Was there bubbles everywhere?
Everywhere.
It looked like we were throwing a foam party. It was so aggressive. But that was a hard lesson we learned. And my mom, I told her the story. She rolled her eyes. She laughed hysterically. And she was like, gosh, I guess I didn't ever tell you that wasn't a thing to do.
Yeah. I'm sure that was not the last time that has happened, and not just in college. So yes, don't ever put dish liquid in the automatic dishwasher. If you have one, make sure you're using an automatic dishwasher detergent. There is a difference.
Huge difference. Brian, thank you so much for your time. If people want to learn more about the American Cleaning Institute or find that checklist of everything that they need, throw out some social media or websites. Where do we need to go to find more?
Yeah, our Class of Clean, you can find it online at cleaninginstitute.org/class of clean. There you can find our move-in checklist, our cleaning with a sick roommate, laundry 101, other great cleaning information. Send it with your child before they head off to campus, or you can send them the link. It's great information, and it'll hopefully keep them looking good and feeling great.
This has been a really fun conversation, and I appreciate all your time and expertise. It sounds a little silly, but it's really important stuff. So This was a really fun conversation. Kelly, thank you so much for joining me and being a guest host.
Having me. I know what I'm going to be downloading when I get home later today.
I'm so excited. We'll have you back on. Gary's going to take some more vacation. You can be my guest host anytime.
Anytime you ask, I would love to be here.
Thank you.
The On Your Side podcast is produced by Brad Denny. Our audio engineer and editor is Todd Martin. Segment producer is Colin Stanton. And I'm Gary Harper.
And I'm Susan Campbell. If you have a problem you can't resolve, maybe we can. Send us a message through azfamily.com or our AZ Family mobile app. Look for the On Your Side section and leave us a message. Thanks so much for listening to the On Your Side podcast. And if you like it, leave us a review. We'll see you next week.
On Your Side is on Good Morning Arizona every weekday morning at 6:45 and 7 o'clock, and every weekday evening on Good Evening Arizona at 4 and 5 o'clock. You can also catch it on Arizona's Family News at 9 on 3TV every weeknight.